What the dog doing?
Been a while since I talked about All Dogs Go to Heaven. Since that initial video came out and an okay amount of people saw it, I've gained some more special insight. Pretty sure I've made it clear in the video that I am interested in All Dogs collectibles. If not to own, then at least to look at and catalog. Plushies, animation cells, collectible stickers that use different backgrounds from the ones that show up in the movie. The only piece of Annabelle merchandise out there. Sigh, I guess I'll have to settle. I actually do have a fascination with old trading cards and sticker blind bags and the like. Who needs to buy a bunch of plastic crap that'll take up space in your house when you can get a bunch of Pokemon cards to admire? Wacky packages, anyone? I'm getting off topic. This is a video for another day. Me looking at the complete set of Menudo trading cards for $3 at the mall. Anyways, my All Dogs hyperfixation did lead me to purchasing that press kit I showed in the big video. And most recently of all, the script for All Dogs Go to Heaven 2. Dated dated June 6, 1994, for a film originally set to release in 1995. Okay, there's not much difference from the final thing, you say, but nobody knows because nobody's actually gotten this and put it online. I shelled out the money for this in the case there were any juicy details in here that didn't make it into the final film. Many scripts have that, and I've come to discover that All Dogs 2 is no different. The original version of the script has an entirely different song, extended scenes, and a few very bizarre choices that I'm kinda glad they went back on. This is really awesome for me, not only as the All Dogs Go to Heaven guy, but because the production of this movie has so much mystery around it. Nobody I got in contact with about it, or any site I came across, had much aside from vague trivia. This is uncharted territory. Today we'll be going beat for beat through the script and comparing it to the final, and at the end I'll kinda give my thoughts on how it stacks up to what actually ended up coming out. Spoilers, for as messy as the actual film ended up being, the script is somehow even more confused in most areas. So, at the beginning of the final film, we see the villain from the original All Dogs, Carface, talking to a mysterious voice on the phone. This is Red, the new villain of the movie. Following is a scene setting up Charlie and Carface in heaven, Carface pretending to be good and Charlie still being a troublemaker. Neither of those two scenes are in the script, and instead we get a montage of Charlie messing things up in heaven. This is actually the scene in the film where he's running to the gates to see Itchy, while the little tune about Gabriel's horn plays. Described as a scene of dogs polishing halos, just like in the film, and an extra scene is described where Charlie knocks over a golden fire hydrant. Next is pretty similar to the scene where Charlie meets Itchy in heaven. This is a recurring theme in the script. General outlines of scenes are the same, but some lines are changed. Here, Charlie has a back and forth with a Samoyed about swindling her husband out of his bone collection. Charlie and Itchy walk off, and as they do, the script describes the scene of Carface trying to nab Gabriel's horn, a scene that in the final film happens after the first musical number, not during. The song It's Too Heavenly here is juxtaposed with the scene of Carface taking the horn and going down to earth. Most of the bits with Charlie and Itchy are described similar to how they appear in the final film, just with some new lyrics, which I won't be attempting to sing for you today. Annabelle's appearance is the same as it is in the movie. I think there could have been some correlation between this scene being set in stone early on and the fact that Annabelle has two different looks when she's in heaven. In this scene, she's on all fours like in the concept art, and in the not yet added opener, she's bipedal. I think it might have been storyboarded first, not animated. I'll try my best not to dwell on minor changes, but I think it's really cool the part where Charlie shoves the corgi in the St. Bernard's mouth here isn't in the script. Noted as Charlie just throwing him into the other dog. David Feast of Cow and Chicken fame really had that golden touch and added a lot of unique and memorable bits of animation, including this if I had to guess. Here, instead of in the released movie, the crowd of angels buys Charlie's speech that he should go down to earth. Annabelle gives him the same spiel she does in the movie, but this time says that he can only use his angelic powers for good, instead of giving them a miracle to use on their journey. Wonder what that could mean. Charlie and Itchy fall down to San Francisco and make their way to the bar like they would end up doing in the movie. In the script, the pink root beer is explicitly stated to be beer. Normal beer, you could say. Sasha is revealed, and like the unnamed dog in the opening, she too is a Samoyed, which is so strange. That was clearly like the dog of the writer, and they wanted to put it in the movie. I love how she went through like 3 different species, and none of them look the same. Last time I talked about All Dogs, I did show you that Afghan Sasha from the concept poster. Anyways, Sasha begins singing a completely different song than the one she does in the movie. Instead of Count Me Out, about how she's not interested in a relationship, the song is My Kinda Man, about how she wants to find a bad dog she can turn into a good boy. Lyrics like, My kind of man's got a bad attitude. He's a dangerous dog, a smooth-talking dude. It could be you might just be the one. I can tell in your eyes you're a son of a gun, and you're gonna love it if you're my kind of man. Accompanying her are 3 waitresses, and I'd like to imagine it would have a faster tempo than the song they ended up going with, something closer to Be Your Own Dog from the TV show. During the scene, we get a payoff to that line about Charlie's heavenly powers. Okay, so in this version of the film, Charlie has the ability to transform into other people. Yes, so he transforms into, quote, a stud with gold chains, sunglasses, snakeskin boots, and a toothpick between his teeth, and then a greaser with slick back hair. Of course, Sasha doesn't see this because, like in the movie, Charlie and Itchy are invisible. Very similar scene where Carface shows up and explains how Charlie and Itchy can get the magic collars that will thus turn them corporeal. At a price, this time with an explicit reference to the first movie. Itchy says, "Wait a minute, Charlie, this is the guy who bumped you off." I'm not doing the voices either. Put my foot down on that. Charlie and Itchy go to Red's to get the collars. Again, bits of dialogue are missing or changed from the final. I like this bit that got cut where Charlie remarks, "Who's that handsome devil?" when he's looking in the mirror and Carface nudges Red in the background. They leave and the 2 villains discuss their evil plans. The dialogue that would have been put in the middle of the villain song, "It Feels So Good to Be Bad," is now before the song. No lyrics are defined. It just vaguely says that there's gonna be a song here and that we see Red's true form as a demonic cat. Now able to interact with the real world, back at the bar, Charlie tries to flirt with Sasha. She's not interested and he follows her around a bit. The chase here is laid out with more detail, including run-ins with a streetcar and some random pedestrians. More things that they probably had to animate, which they didn't want to. What follows is just like in the movie, aside from some dialogue changes. Charlie kissing Sasha is still there. Yeah, great, really needed that. This time, her being able to talk isn't a one-time thing, just another one of the angel's heavenly powers. Magical secret powers. Charlie and Itchy meet David. He talks about running away and wanting to do magic for a living. Instead of getting quarters in a hat in a filthy street market, he wants to run away with a traveling magic act. It's important to note that the brochure for the magic show not only has a magician on it, but a black knight on a black stallion. That'll be important later. So David wants to go run away with the carnies, but Sasha, like in the movie, isn't having it. Charlie brings up her song and how he's the kind of bad guy she wants. Again, not having it. Here comes the dreaded 7-minute police station chase. This time, the entire sequence lasts longer, believe it or not. Instead of Charlie going into the police station and coming back out and going in again, he goes in 3 times. An extra attempt happens before the ones where he's trying to get the horn, and when he brings everyone else in. Something similar to that happens, where there's a big chase and they finally get the horn and leave. And instead of escaping on a motor scooter, it's David's bike, which actually lines up with the early concept art and original poster. You know, the one with radical 90s David with the backwards hat. The chase in this version leads them to Chinatown, where they run right through a parade and end up with big Chinese dragon heads on the police car and bike. They then run through Fisherman's Wharf, more hijinks ensues, cut over to the scene of Red and Carface in Alcatraz, back to the hijinks, which in this version does not end. They finally escape, and in a scene sort of like the one after the song Easy Street, Charlie and Itchy try to find food and shelter from the rain for David. Charlie is telling him jokes, and overall making the kid feel better. Sasha sees a side of Charlie that she hasn't before, and is impressed, maybe even starting to like him. Instead of Easy Street, they go over to where the magic show is going to be happening, only to realize it's too late. They've already left. David's sulking again, and really spills how he feels about his new mom and their new kid. Instead of Charlie's line about running away from home, he says, quote, "David, if you'd come from a large litter like me, you'd know that parents can love more than one pup." So a change to Charlie's backstory, which doesn't really matter because they retcon it in the TV show.
Well, I grew up on the street, Itch, and I never knew my mom or dad, and well...
Next is where the song I Will Always Be With You would have taken place. Like It Feels So Good to Be Bad, there were no lyrics defined for it, and the script only reads, Charlie and Sasha sing a love song. The theme of the song involves appearances and getting beyond them. You must discover the true person before falling in love with them. So maybe their original idea was something more specific to their situation than the sort of generic song that ended up in the film. Same as the movie, Charlie disappears, he goes back to Red to bargain, and then they settle on the horn. Charlie tries to get the horn, but assures Itchy that he has a plan to take down Red. Carface comes and snatches David, and they're off to Alcatraz. This is different from the movie, where Sasha and David are in the subway and there's the 2 main dogs on the beach. Here they would have all been together in an empty lot. There would have, I assume, been less conflict between Charlie and Itchy over the horn. The scene where Charlie puts it in a lobster trap is different too, where here they're on the same page about it, instead of the big argument. Off to the climax at Alcatraz. A line is different here where David says, "You should be ashamed of yourself. What kind of dog are you? Selling yourself out to some roly-poly cat?" roly-poly, suggesting Red might have been a bigger guy in this iteration. Same scene plays out, Red blows the horn, all the dogs get sucked down from heaven. Charlie tries to run at him and stop him. Red sees the little flyer for the magic show that David dropped, and brings the Black Knight from the flyer to life to attack Charlie. Yes, in an alternate universe, there would have been a page on the All Dogs Go to Heaven wiki titled The Black Knight. The Black Knight and accompanying Black Horse would have tossed Charlie and the gang around for a bit, until he accidentally rams into a light post, causing him to explode with electricity. More climaxing, the ground would have given out, revealing a fiery pit below, with Sasha and David nearly falling in and dangling from the ledge. Red tosses Carface the horn to finish the deed, but it turns out it was Charlie in disguise using his angel magic. Charlie blows the horn and all is well. Instead of like in the movie, Annabelle instantly sending Charlie back down, there's a ceremony of sorts where he puts the horn back and everybody's happy. But Charlie is sad, and Annabelle sees that he'd be happier on Earth. Annabelle makes it so, and Charlie is sent back in a scene near identical to the ending of the movie. It was really interesting to look at the script and see what was changed between here and the final film. There's nothing like gaining some extra insight into the production, especially the early versions. All we have of that is like vague suggestions of concept art. And look, even on one of the pages, there's a label from a different project, the Pink Panther show MGM was doing at the time. Isn't that cool? And I own this, like I can hold this in my hands. Overall, it's somehow less polished than the final, and that's to be expected. It's clearly an early draft. Half the songs aren't even in there, and one of them is completely different from what it ended up being. I doubt any kind of demo exists for My Kind of Man, but the lyrics paint an intriguing picture. The concept of Charlie transforming into other people was confusing, and I'm glad they dropped it. It just feels unnecessary. All it's used for is the end, and otherwise, it's brought up in one other scene that sets it up. And it's such a huge thing, why is he not using it all the time? And I dread the thought of that police station chase scene in the middle of the movie being longer. Good choice to cut that down. There is a line that replaces Carface talking about the horn in the villain song. Instead of him saying that they can use it to rob banks, he just rattles off some unrelated evil stuff he wants to do. Can we make some prank calls now? Or how about we make one of those stink bombs? Changing something like that kinda ties everything together with Carface wanting the horn, but again, it opens up more questions. Again, there is that scene in the movie where the horn, for whatever reason, doesn't open the gate at the police station. Thus, you have more problems with the story that you just caused. It's the same case with Itchy. In the final script, he clashes more with Charlie, but I feel like they don't go all the way with it in the movie. I said in my review that the script could have used more drafts, and that point still stands, believe you me. I will compliment the final movie on one more thing. There's a lot of characterization in there that doesn't really show up here. Just little bits of dialogue here and there that give you an idea of who, say, Itchy or Sasha are. The tone in the 94 script just feels like a lot of the characters are making stupid puns at each other. In the final movie, it's a lot more well-rounded. Final point, the script has less Annabelle, and the movie has more Annabelle. Clear to see how they improved. As far as what to do with this thing, I have scanned it and plan to upload it to the Internet Archive as soon as this video comes out. I also want to leave you with this, something I only found in the editing for that original All Dogs video. In this shot during one of the songs, look at this. Okay, not only can you see the top of Itchy's cell here, but what is with Sasha? In this one shot, they animated her with her early design used in concept art and promo material. This isn't some blue shirt Bart thing where, oh, it showed up on merchandise because it was made before. No, this is in the movie. Wiggity whack, yo. Put that on adgthforums.ru.